and welcome to Pitt Resource Connection. I'm Mary Smith, your host. This morning we're talking to Valeria Holloway, who is with Vidant Health in their inpatient hospice program there at Vidant, right?
Yes.
Welcome aboard, and you are chaplain?
Yes, I am.
How long have you been a chaplain?
15 years.
There you go.
15 years,
Okay.
yes.
And then this particular support group that we're going to be talking about today is called the Pathways of Hope Bereavement.
Yes.
Okay.
Pathways of Hope. It's been going on for maybe about 20 years. It used to be in the hospital, but what we've done now, we have it at the Vidant Wellness Center every Tuesday. This one is more of a walk-in type program. So sometimes people with the other one that we have, Living on After Loss, it's like 8 weeks. This one, because of people's schedules, they can just come in once a month, and if they feel like they're okay, they don't have to worry about it. But maybe another month something may happen, such as an anniversary or someone else dying. So they may say, okay, let me walk in just to get me some more information and some more support.
Okay, and what kind of information do they get from this support group?
Right. Well, what we do is we are a bereavement group. So what we are doing is basically helping them through the stages of grief. So it's that support group with several people, and what we do is really just talk about the bereavement aspect, the things that are bothering them. Some of the things that may bother them one month may not bother them the next month. So we're providing education material as well, but mainly we're there so that they can all support one another. Maybe once every other month we'll have probably a particular topic, but a lot of times I let them kind of guide the conversation because they are the ones that are going through a particular area. Sometimes it's flood of emotions that month, and we may just talk about that particular time.
Okay. And how long are they?
The program, we start at 5:30 to 7 o'clock.
Okay. So about an hour.
So
and a half.
yes, hour and a half. So sometimes they may just come in just for a little bit and maybe just want to get some information, and they'll just go. They'll come back. But most of them stay an hour and a half.
Do you have to share your grief, or can you just sit in and listen?
You can sit in and listen, and a lot of times, sometimes with the grief aspect, sometimes it's the loss of a person, and sometimes it's the loss of a home or a job or any type of loss. Sometimes we just want to be there to be able to talk with them so that they can be able to express and reflect, because that's what's happening now. A lot of people are not able to reflect, and they don't have that audience to not judge them so much.
Gotcha. Okay. So this is a group that is for adults, I understand.
Yes, it's for adults.
Okay.
We currently don't have the children aspect now, so we currently with the adults 18 and over.
And do you help adults through this group work with their children, and maybe since you don't have one specifically for them?
Well, what we do, since it's the children, what we do is refer them back to the school counselors or the counselors in the area. Now, we do have some information that we can give them as well, but what we try to do is refer them back to the school counselors. And we do have some information. If it's not difficult, we can just give them some information, but we want to make sure that the children have the ongoing support too, because one of the programs that we do have at the Vidant Inpatient Hospice, the Service League, the bereavement aspect, we see the family members or call them 6 times during the year. The first 5 days, within the first 5 days, 2 to 4 weeks. We have 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and 12 months. So we have that as well. So we have a pretty good program to assist the people, because a lot of times after someone dies, people tend to just go back to their normal aspects of living. And that's what we want to do, is be there for them.
Okay. How many people are generally in this group?
Well, normally it just depends on what's going on. Sometimes the holidays will bring in more holidays and particular maybe anniversaries. We normally run about maybe from 5 to 12. And again, it depends. Holidays are a little bit harder. Well, it's a lot harder for a lot of the people because it's a lot of festive things that are going on. but this person no longer have their loved one with them. So we have to work really hard with them to keep memories going, to keep memories alive, to do something that will honor their loved ones, because a lot of them will go into a shell. So that's why I'm kind of glad we're here and that we have something that's ongoing.
Okay. So you mentioned that different kinds of things people can grieve about. So it's not necessarily just for a loss of a loved one. It could be an animal even, huh?
Exactly.
Their pet that they've had.
Exactly. And the people, I think they don't realize that the grief is still the same. You had a pet and he's been with you for years and he's no longer there. So that void is still there. A void is a void. So because society says, okay, well, you shouldn't feel this way, and that's where we get the hang up at, because society said, well, you should be over this by now, you know. So those are the things that we try to implement. It's no certain time limit. Grief can go on for years. The main thing is having a community to be able to talk with the individual, because you know you have the several types of people. You have the people that avoid you. They don't mean any harm. It's just like, I don't want to talk about it today, so I'm going to avoid you. Then you have the people that advise you, and they would say, okay, well, I think you should be over this by now. It's been 6 months, but your 6 months and my 6 months are not the same. And then you have the advocates. Those are the ones I really love. They are in your corner. If we want to go eat a hot dog together and you share your story, that's fine. And it's a non-judgmental aspect. So once we kind of know the people that are out there, it helps us to realize that there are people out there, because sometimes there's that resentment there. You had a pretty good friend and now your friend is no longer there, and it's only because of the fear. They don't know what to do.
And that perpetuates the grief too, then, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It does. It drives it harder, because not only is the grief there, the resentment is there. And if the resentment is there, it's hard to heal. So when you let people know there are several types of people out there, and really they don't mean any harm, it's just the fear aspect. So I don't know what to say, so I won't say anything.
Right.
So but it doesn't help the person that's grieving, because it's like, I'm the one that's going through. Help me, help me. Exactly. So they're crying out. Right.
And I hear that all the time at my work, is that they say I should be over it.
Yes.
And I think with grief, you're never, death of a loved one, you're never over it.
Right.
You learn to kind of live without that person in your life.
Right. And you learn to be there and to honor their memories. Right. It's only society that says you should be over it. How could I be over it if my mom or my daughter or this loving animal has died and they are an intricate part? What we try to do is help people to restructure their lives without their loved one in a meaningful way, so that they can continue to move on, because we don't want them to stop living. Because every now and then you hear someone, I just don't feel like living anymore. So we turn the focus to, what would your loved one want you to do? And if you think about it, loved ones want you to keep living.
Exactly.
It's we that feel like, okay, I don't want to live anymore. But once you add that meaning, like for instance, anniversary days or Christmas, or when that year anniversary time comes, what I do is we tell the people, okay, let some balloons go up at a certain time. A certain time of the day, just let some balloons go up. And when the balloons go up, say a prayer, say, hey, we're thinking about you. And that time, that particular day, you have meaning added to it. And we also encourage people, whatever your loved one's food was, just say chocolate chip cookies. Say, okay, I'm going to make some chocolate chip cookies, and what I'm going to do is give it to maybe a widow in the neighborhood and say, I'm doing this in honor of my loved one. That way, that day has meaning to it. Right.
That sounds nice.
Yes. Yes. I'm hungry now.
Are they warm?
Yes.
Okay, Valeria, then let's go over the days and times. Is it once a month or once a week? Or?
Yes. We have the Pathways to Hope. It's every second Tuesday at 5:30 to 7 o'clock. And this is at Vidant Wellness Center.
And that's just beyond the hospital.
Yes, right, just beyond the hospital. It's right next to really inpatient hospice. And the reason why we do it there versus the inpatient hospice setting, because a lot of times when people walk into the hospice, they could have had a loss there.
Exactly.
They're getting ready to experience parallel processing. So we have it in, you know, a non-threatening environment.
Right.
So that's right at the gym.
So if they want to get more information about it and just talk to you
Yes.
one-on-one, how would they reach you?
They can call the inpatient hospice at 252-847-1235.
Okay.
And I'm the only chaplain there.
So let me talk to the chaplain.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for coming in. I think it's be a lot of help to people that are grieving, because when you do lose somebody, it's very difficult to actually believe that they're gone, and then how do I live without this person? And so
Exactly.
we want to thank you for coming in.
Thank you for allowing us to come in and share it with the community.
Okay, and give Valeria a call if you want more information about the group. They will be a second Tuesday of every month. They're there. You can just walk in. And so if you are grieving and you want just some support or to know that you're not alone, join them. All right, thank you.
Thank you.